Hey, my name is Brian. I own this page here on Twitter called High Impact Flicks. I'm also on the Disturbing Illusion on YouTube, High Impact Vlogs, and Here's the Deal, which is my police accountability channel. And I'm just like you. I have beliefs, I have fears, I have doubts, I have a family, I have people who love me, I love them, and I'm trying to work my way through this life just like you guys are. And I've got questions, just like you guys have questions. And I have a disdain and an internal distrust for government because I can see, historically speaking, the government has done nothing but lie to us. They'll lie to us to get us into a war. They'll lie to us to extract the value of our time and laboring energies, which for us is the US dollar. If we lived in China, it'd be another currency, or Japan or whatever. But they've lied to us to get us to believe that the dollar has value. And then they rug pulled us on August 15th, 1971, when Nixon closed the gold window, decoupling our currency from the gold and silver standard it was supposed to be attached to, thereby creating this fiat currency Ponzi scheme system, which is now a petrodollar. There's no value if we didn't create this artificial demand through OPEC back in 1971 through 73. And, this is just it's just a whole litany of lies and deception. They've beefed up the military industrial complex, created the prison industrial complex, largely back in the early 1970s with the war on drugs, which isn't a war on drugs. It's not a war on inanimate objects. It's a war on people. It's like the gun control laws. It's not gun control. They're controlling people, and they do it through laws that they claim are going to make the rest of us safe. And that's why in a lot of my videos, I exclaim, the safety of the people is always the alibi of tyrants, because it is. And that's what they do, that they lie to us, they deceive us. And that's why all of us, we believe something different. For example, about this space thing. I don't know where I land on this stuff, guys. I see what the flat earthers say. I see what the globe earthers say. And I see what people who are in the middle say. And I don't think it's a bad thing to ask questions. Believing the government's official story will usually lead you down the wrong path, in the wrong direction. And the reason that powers that shouldn't be do that, the reason the social engineers and the psychological operators create these deceptions, is to distract us, to deceive us, to divide us, to demoralize us so they can conquer us. Because a confused and divided people is an easily conquered people. And I think space is just one of those things too. And I just wrote just an hour ago here, the International Space Station circles, according to what NASA says, circles the Earth every 90 minutes. And of the 7 crew members aboard the ISS, not one thought it would be a good idea to film the Artemis 2 lifting off and punching through the atmosphere from the perspective of space. Now, is it possible that they do this as they say they do? Yeah, sure. We saw the rocket go up. We saw it go, lift off, seemingly into space. Wouldn't it be cool to see the ISS capture the liftoff of any kind of rocket puncturing through space? I mean, for God's sake, they can read a license plate in high resolution from lower Earth orbit. Why wouldn't they be able to capture that? You'd think they would. And this isn't me saying, oh, they should slow down the orbital speed of the ISS or speed it up so they can capture it. They can time the launch window to be able to do that. I don't see why they wouldn't be able to do that. Humans create the launch time. Humans can change the launch time. And from my understanding and from my limited research, launch times are changed frequently. It's a common occurrence. So when I see people in the comment section just spewing vitriol, just because I might not agree with your position or you might not agree with my position, we can start with some basic questions. Hey, do you believe it's ever right? This is aside from space, okay? Whatever's going on with space, $69 million a day. Every single day, NASA extracts $69 million a day to do their projects, to fund their projects. Surely we could have some kind of say in, hey, why don't you change the launch time to this so that the ISS could possibly record this historic flight watching a rocket puncture through space or going by on the way to the moon? And what is it with the low resolution that they're providing in 2026 with the technology we have? With the camera resolution we could produce, we can't look at a view of the cockpit crew and in the window behind them see the Earth, or just fix a camera outside of the window, or already have had it installed outside the rocket where you can get a live feed of the Earth disappearing in the distance, or the moon coming into view as you head toward the moon. Make some of this stuff believable is what I'm saying. Now, whether I'm flat Earth, very few people know where I land on this. I'm not going to call myself a flat earther because I got tons of questions about that. I'm not going to call myself an entire sphere earther or globe earther because I got some questions about that. But I think we can solidly agree on some basic things. And if we do that, we can make this world a better place overnight. Number one, it's never right to initiate unjust force and violence on peaceful people who haven't done anything wrong. When you reach out your hand to harm someone or to steal their property that they earned, that you didn't earn, that is the very definition of a crime. It's harming somebody. So it's never right to harm anybody, to threaten to harm them, to steal their property, or to damage their property and not pay back. Number two, the golden rule. Isn't it better to do to others what you would want done to you? And the third thing is, does anybody have a higher claim over your life and property than you? The answer is no. Is it right to initiate unjust force? No. Should we implement the golden rule? Do to others what you would want done to you. Conversely, don't do to others what you wouldn't want done to you. Yes. If we all agree on those things, then anybody who transgresses any one of those three tenets is a criminal and should be treated swiftly and justly as a criminal. And that punishment should be meted out quickly. I don't see how we could disagree with that. We might disagree on the shape of the Earth or NASA's mission. NASA lies a lot. You know that, right? Why did they lie? Why are they putting touched up photos out there? Just give us the raw photos. Give us the raw footage. Don't touch them up. Don't green screen stuff. Why are you doing that? If all of it is legitimate and above board, they wouldn't have to do that, in my view. That's why I said if I was a believer in the whole space exploration thing, this Artemis 2 mission would start to seriously shake that unfounded faith. And you have to have faith. Do you know how evil the American government has been to Americans? If you want to see just how insidious they can be and the plans they can concoct and hatch, the conspiracies that they've laid against us, all you have to do is look up Operation Northwoods. It's an actual declassified document. If you've never read Operation Northwoods, I'm not even going to tell you about it, except for they planned an attack. The United States, the Joint Chiefs of Staff under Kennedy, planned an attack on American citizens on American soil in order to get us to buy into a war with Cuba. That's our American government. Kennedy put a kibosh on it and it never lifted off. But don't tell me that there haven't been plans laid after plans laid after plans laid against the American people for the benefit of the powers that shouldn't be, who want to not only gain wealth, but gain power over the rest of us. And that's what laws are. Laws are the opinions of politicians backed by the threat of force, and they serve two primary purposes. Purpose number one, it transfers power. If they can take away your rights, that puts all the power into their hands. That legalizes their theft. That legalizes their criminality. And the second thing it does is it's a money transfer. It transfers your money because in order to support a law, which is the opinion of politicians backed by the threat of force, in order to support the existence of that law, it's going to take money. And where are they going to get that money from? From the American tax cattle. So it steals your wealth and it steals your power, which means it steals your agency. It steals who you are as a human being. And that's what the government does. That's what government is. Remember what George Washington said. Government is not eloquence. It is not reason. It is force. It is violence. It is brutality. It is theft. That's what it is. It's not eloquence or reason. It's force. And like fire, it's a dangerous servant and a fearful master. So why don't we stop surrendering our liberties? No one will tamely surrender their liberties, nor can any be easily subdued when knowledge is diffused and virtue is preserved. On the contrary, when people are universally ignorant and debauched in their manners, they will sink under their own weight without the aid of foreign invaders. Psychological operators know this, social engineers know this, and that's why they hire people like Edward Bernays to pull the wool over all of our eyes, to distract, divide, demoralize, and conquer us. I say we stop it. We knock it off. Are you a flat earther? Fine. I'm your brother. Are you a globe earther? Fine. I'm your brother. I think we can agree to disagree. I think the debate is stimulating. I think that it's nothing to divide over. In a time where we're giving boatloads of money to foreign entities, not just Israel, but all over the place, where we can't even afford it. We're nearly $40 trillion in debt, not counting unfunded liabilities like Social Security and Medicaid. When you add those into the mix, it's like $225 trillion. How much is $1 trillion? Most people cannot wrap their minds around it, but if you earned $1 for every second you were alive, you would have to live for 31,709 years to collect your first $1 trillion. And we're 220-something trillion dollars in debt when you count all those unfunded liabilities. So I think we need to get our heads out of our asses, stop calling each other names, stop being so caustic with each other, take a heavy dose of personal humility, realize, hey, the world doesn't begin and end with us. Knowledge doesn't exist because I exist. And let's try to learn to get along and resist the evils of government. I want to hear what you have to say about this. Leave your thoughts in the comment section below. I really enjoy reading them, and I do learn a lot from people who make good, logical, sound arguments. I will see you in the next video.